as we sit here one day away from Christmas and families across the nation fight it out for the best seats in front of the computer to watch another episode of Brad Carroll's Game Day, it's only fitting that we talk about the holy grail of presents. That, of course, is a college football playoff.
It's something that's been on my gift wish list for a long time now, and I'm hoping one of these years to finally be able to cross it off. Right now, unfortunately, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. We've kind of stalled in this playoff debate for the past couple of years. Nevertheless, I still believe at some point common sense will prevail and we'll get what every other college sport has for football, a playoff. Logical, don't you think?
And 'tis the season to believe.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, there should absolutely be a college football tournament, but I don't want anything to do with these 16-team formats that some have suggested. There aren't 16 teams in the country that deserve to play for the title each year. So, use the current BCS formula to set up an 8-team tournament and crown a champion that everyone will respect.
You know, I wouldn't be opposed to the 16-team format, but you know what? I'd settle for the 8-team format. Give it to me right now. I sign off on it. And to those people who think, no, you can't have a tournament, it'd ruin the importance of the regular season games, that's not true at all. What you do is the higher seeds host first-round games at home. Then people will really be keying in on every regular season game to get that home field advantage.
Yeah, in my formula, there would be 4 first-round games, 2 semifinals, and then a championship. Those tournament games would be hosted by the current bowls and would rotate as they currently do, with the BCS title game paired with the Rose, Fiesta, Sugar, and Orange, all taking turns hosting the semifinals and 2 first-round games. The leftover games could be held in the Cotton, Gator, or those light bowls. Now, just imagine the ratings for those games. Put it this way, nobody is going to watch UConn and Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. But if that game, featuring those same 2 teams, was a national semifinal, wow.
Yeah, a national semifinal with almost any matchup would do great in college football. Right now, a game like Oklahoma and UConn probably only of interest to those teams' fans. But you have a tournament, first-round games, semifinal games, you get an underdog story or something like that. That means huge ratings, and you know what huge ratings means? Money. And we all know money is the driving force here. One day, the teams, the conferences are going to realize a playoff would yield them lots and lots of money.
Yeah. All right, switching gears just a bit. There were 2 huge college jobs filled in recent days. Al Golden, the Temple coach, was hired at Miami, and Will Muschamp, the Texas coach in waiting, jumped at the Florida job. Of the 2, the Golden hire has come under the most scrutiny, as Miami fans were hoping for a big-name coach.
Yeah, Golden, I think, is a nice coach. I think he'll do an okay job at Miami, but an okay job at Miami is not good enough. I don't think he's going to take him to the promised land of returning to the national championship picture every year. As for Muschamp, when you're the coach in waiting at Texas, you must be doing something right. I have no doubt that he impressed the folks at Florida, and I'm sure he'll do a good job there.
Yeah, I know Craig, whenever he decides to invade the show, will rip the hire of Golden at Miami. But I actually love the move. Golden is known as a terrific recruiter, which is obviously a huge part of college football. He can also flat out coach, as he turned around an embarrassing Temple program and made it a winner. Now Golden should do a great job in Miami. And oh, there we go.
You mentioned Craig. Unfortunately, you didn't get my gift list. I was hoping to not have him on the show this week, because nothing says Merry Christmas like an appearance from Craig Carroll.
Well, if it's a Christmas show, we need the Grinch involved somehow.
That's true, we do.
All right, this is Craig Carroll's statement. I'm going to read it right now. Bowl season is finally here, and even though the 2 best teams are playing for the national title, there is still an outcry for the current system to be changed. My solution is an 8-team playoff, which is the only way to truly determine a national champion.
I actually agree on that. A little holiday spirit of agreement.
There you go. There have also been 2 big coaching changes so far. Florida replaced Urban Meyer with Will Muschamp. I guess he couldn't wait for Texas, but overall a pretty good choice for Florida. He will need a very good offensive coordinator, however, to succeed.
Yeah, that offense needs some work right now.
Miami hired Al Golden, and as a Canes fan, I'm not happy with the pick, especially after Miami said it would get the best possible coach available. One chat with John Gruden, and I guess they got tired of interviewing people.
I may sort of agree with him, but Miami, don't ever listen to what Craig Carroll says. That means you're doing the right thing.
I wanted Mike Leach at Miami, an offensive guru. Leach and an always good Miami defense would be a very dangerous combo.
Leach would be an interesting hire anywhere, and it looks like anywhere is going to be Maryland.
All right, on to my picks. NC State getting 2.5. Iowa getting 2.5. Oklahoma State giving 5. Kansas State, pick 'em. Miami giving 3. And Florida State getting 3.
Florida State's in a big matchup with South Carolina, two teams that have similar resumes. They're both 9-4. They're both coming off conference championship game losses. They both have almost identical in terms of points scored and total offense. The difference here, I think, South Carolina got walloped by Auburn in their conference championship game. Florida State was competitive. They just need the defense to be a little bit better. I do not think South Carolina can recover from that kind of loss. I like Florida State, even if they're without quarterback Christian Ponder. I like what E.J. Manuel brings to the table there. I think the Seminoles get it done 34-24.
I'm not going to go into too much detail about this game because it's as simple as this. In a matchup featuring a good SEC team and a good ACC team, go with the SEC. No questions asked. South Carolina 27, Florida State 20. Now, before we get into our next bowl game, news has just come in that quarterback Terrell Pryor is among 5 Ohio State players that have been suspended for the first 5 games next season for accepting improper benefits during the 2009 season. All 5 players will be eligible for the Sugar Bowl, however. Pryor sold his 2008 Big Ten Championship ring, a Fiesta Bowl Sportsmanship Award, and his 2008 gold pants, a gift from the university. This could easily be the end of Pryor's college career, as he could declare for the NFL Draft.
Yeah, all those players who've been suspended for the start of next season may take off for the NFL Draft, and what kind of punishment is that if they don't get punished at all? They really shouldn't be allowed to play in the bowl game. As for the ruling, I would never sell personal items like that. I think they have intrinsic value, but they did, so I really don't have a problem with it. I don't get what the big deal is. But as a player, you've got to know the rules, and when you break them, you're going to have to pay the consequences.
Yeah, this is big consequences. All right, getting back to the field, the Champs Sports Bowl features West Virginia, a 2.5-point favorite, taking on NC State. How does this one break down?
You know, West Virginia is supposed to be the best team in the Big East, the only ranked team in that conference, even though they're not playing in the BCS. If that's what they are, then they should roll in this game. I think they'll win. I don't think they'll win big. Take that for what you want it. West Virginia wins 30-23.
Yeah, if you go by my conference theory, NC State should be the pick. But in this game, I'm already blowing that theory up. West Virginia is the better team and should take home the victory. West Virginia 24, NC State 20. Next, Missouri and Iowa tangle in the Insight Bowl. Missouri is a 2.5-point favorite. So, who wins this matchup of the Big 12 and the Big 10?
The matchup of teams that are disappointed to be there a little bit. Iowa lost their last 3 games, imploded down the stretch. They expected to be in a BCS game, maybe the national championship game. I don't really know what happened in Hawkeye Land, and I think the fans are wondering the same question. As for Missouri, they kind of recovered. You know, they had that great win against Oklahoma, lost 2 straight, and they finished the season well. I think they continue that momentum and get it done against an Iowa team who's just lost on the field right now. Missouri 27-20.
Yeah, this is a tough game to pick, as I believe Iowa is the better team, but Missouri wants to take the next step in becoming a national title contender, so the motivation edge is there for the Tigers. In these lower-tier bowls, go with motivation. Missouri 31, Iowa 24. The great offense of Oklahoma State comes into the Alamo Bowl as 5-point favorites against Arizona. The Cowboys ended their season in disappointment, losing to Oklahoma and missing out on the Big 12 championship game. Can they bounce back against the Wildcats?
You mentioned disappointment. Well, Arizona is pretty disappointed with the way they finished their season. They lost 4 straight. You mentioned Oklahoma State blowing a chance at the Big 12 title with their loss to Oklahoma. So 2 teams a little bit disappointed. You said offense. There should be a lot of points scored in this game. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State and their quarterback, Brandon Whedon, throwing for over 30 touchdowns, more than 4,000 yards. I think the Cowboys get it done 45-38.
Yeah, again, keeping with a common theme, Oklahoma State should be the more motivated team. And with its offense, this game should be an easy win for the Cowboys. Oklahoma State 38, Arizona 21. Yankee Stadium is the setting for the Pinstripe Bowl as Kansas State and Syracuse lock horns. You can't get any closer than a pick'em game. So, Anthony, pick one.
Yeah, it should be a closely matched game on the field. Of course, the big story is actually the field itself because it's at Yankee Stadium. But like you said, it should be a closely matched game. I like Syracuse. I give them the edge because they should have a bigger home crowd coming into the Bronx down from Syracuse. And their head coach, Doug Marrone, is a Bronx native. They haven't been to a bowl since 2004. Talked about motivation. Motivation is with the Orange. They'll win a close one, 21-20.
Yeah, Syracuse is pumped to be playing at the stadium and should be able to handle a solid Kansas State team. Syracuse 20, Kansas State 17. The Holiday Bowl is the host as Nebraska and Washington match up with the Cornhuskers as 13.5-point favorites. On paper, this one should be a Nebraska rout, but games aren't played on paper.
No, but the first time it was played on the field, it was a rout as Nebraska won 56-21. This should be a little different. Again, the motivation factor. Washington won 3 games in a row just to make a bowl. Nebraska thought they were going to be in a BCS bowl. Also, Jake Locker's last chance to take the field in a Washington uniform. First bowl game he's ever played in. That should help keep Washington a lot closer than the first time around, but it won't give the Huskies a win. The Huskers prevail 32-22.
Yeah, Nebraska beat Washington by 35 points back in September, and there is really no reason to believe Washington could put up a better fight in the Holiday Bowl. But for some reason, I'm thinking Washington keeps this game close enough to cover. Nebraska 31, Washington 20. Finally, the one huge matchup of the early bowl games features the Catholics and the Convicts, as Miami, a 3-point favorite, and Notre Dame play in the Sun Bowl. These two old-time rivals haven't played in 20 years, which is giving this lackluster bowl a big-time atmosphere it may never duplicate.
Yeah, 20 years ago, though, both teams were big names competing for national championships. That's not the case right now, though I'm sure their fans hope in the near future they'll get back to that point. But right now, Miami, a team that at the beginning of the season, are they back? Are they going to be national championship contenders? They got their coach fired, so I don't know how they're feeling right now. Notre Dame, on the other hand, has won 3 straight. I think they'll carry that momentum into the offseason, see if Brian Kelly can build on a decent first year. Notre Dame gets it done 26-17.
Wow. With the history of this rivalry and the motivation of impressing a new head coach, the Hurricanes will have no problem getting past the Irish. In a game that will make Craig very happy, Miami rolls to victory in the Sun Bowl. Miami, 34, Notre Dame, 23. With that, we wrap up another edition of Brad Carroll's Game Day. Be sure to check out the print version in the pages of the Bristol Press and New Britain Herald on my blog at bradcarrollgameday.blogspot.com. And don't forget College Game Day Rewind exclusively on my blog. For Anthony, I'm Brad. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And don't forget, after the holidays, to come back and check us for our next Bowl show.